This is the Refuge Project.
Welcome to the Refuge Project. The Refuge Project is a place that we have meaningful conversation.
That's right.
In a safe place.
That's right.
And we are back. James is back.
Woo! Where's my...
He's been gone a couple weeks. Hey, before I forget, go check us out at the Refuge Project on YouTube and on Instagram.
Yeah.
Make sure you go there and like us on both of those platforms. Check us out. If you like to listen to the video, if you'd like to listen to us and watch the video, it's available now.
Yeah.
So
In fact, I've heard it's only available that way.
it's only available. So this will be number 5
Jeez.
that we've come back that we haven't uploaded on the MP3 side.
Wow. I thought it was just like 1 or 2.
No, it's summertime.
My dad was very upset.
He was.
Yeah.
You know, and you said they talk trash about our stuff, and then we don't put it out, then they
Yeah.
get upset because they can't hear it.
Yep.
So,
Yep. You
all
can't
you
please
suckers
these people.
out there.
Can't please these people.
I'm just joking. I'm just glad somebody's listening.
Trying
Even
to.
if it's our mom and dad's.
Trying to.
So how was vacation, man? I mean, you went to Colorado, and then you
Right.
jumped down and went to
To Wyoming.
Wyoming. I didn't know there was even anything in Wyoming.
Well, there's Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah, but other than that, did you go there?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why you went to go to Yellowstone.
Well, I went. So, Tara's side of the family they like collectively own this little cabin that was built in like the 30s or something, and it's literally I think 4 minutes from the east gate at Yellowstone.
Okay.
So they basically own a property in Yellowstone, which
so
is pretty crazy.
I heard it's pretty primitive.
What does that mean? Oh, the cabin is?
Cabin.
Yeah, well, it was built in the 30s.
Yeah,
You know, but it's got electricity. It's
Okay.
got, it's got a very old stove in there and old. It's got all this stuff. It's just all old stuff.
It's got running water.
It's got running water, but
Okay.
there's no, like, you have to have the water shipped into it. So you got to call a water company and they'll bring a giant tank of water and fill up your tank for you.
Okay.
There's no.
Well, it's pretty primitive.
It's not. I mean, but it has the water. You can take a shower and stuff.
Right.
It's just.
Is it drinkable? You have to bring your own drinks in.
I mean, we had water bottles. I'm sure you could drink it if you had to, but
drinking bath water.
yeah, they're not really. They'd rather you just drink a water bottle.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it was
Nature's
super
nice.
cool. Yeah, it was super cool.
So have you been to Yellowstone before?
I think we went when I was like 5 or something.
Okay.
So I don't really remember.
So
that.
do you recommend it now as an adult?
Oh yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
And I went with them. I think 4 years ago, and we stayed in the cabin then, and I just haven't been back since then. But
you didn't go to Yellowstone then?
yeah,
Or
we
you
did.
Okay.
We did. We didn't do a ton, but we drove around.
So we've been talking about the last couple of years, and I'm just like, I don't know. Noah's 10. I don't know.
Going to Yellowstone.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, go. He'd love that. It's
yeah.
awesome.
Okay.
If you like pretty nature stuff,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
They got video games there because that's really
they got the best arcade in the nation.
Do they really?
No, there's not an arcade at Yellowstone, dude.
You said it so serious. Like I was just.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I would
everybody
never-
knows about the Yellowstone arcade.
So yeah, like arcades, like history museum or something there.
Yeah, dude. That's where they invented video games. When they'd come in from walking around in the mountains and stuff. You know that? No, but it's awesome. But it's way bigger than you realize. And it's also, to me, the downside of Yellowstone is that
Does it across 2 states?
it's at least 2. It might be 3. I don't really.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
I'm not the best on it. But it's for sure going through Wyoming and Montana. Maybe one more. But it's kind of like, it's so big.
I want to go during the winter because I heard they have like really cool like dog sledding stuff up there,
Oh, they probably do.
and I want to go dog sledding.
The winter'd be weird though. You just have to be
And
careful.
for all you woke people, listen, these dogs love pulling these humans around.
They love it, man.
They love it.
They
So,
love it.
anyways.
No, so if you go up in that area in the wintertime, like the roads get shut down because there's too much snow and all that kind
So
of
you
stuff.
gotta have to have dogs.
Yeah, so you gotta have dogs. Well, you just gotta like kind of know a little bit better. Like the cabin that I stayed in, they don't ever go in the winter because most of the roads to get to that cabin are shut down because there's too much snow and stuff. Wow. So they usually just go in the summer or fall or whatever.
Yeah.
Usually, but
I bet you the fall's nice.
yeah,
Spring break probably is pretty really nice up there.
Oh, but what I was saying was, to me, the downside about Yellowstone is that it's like the biggest national park, I think, in the U.S., and it was the first national park. But so it's got this huge name. Like, everybody knows Yellowstone National
And
Park.
they're known for?
Just, all the animals
Yeah,
and
but
the mountains.
isn't there a big, like, geyser or something there?
Oh, yeah, Old Faithful.
Yeah, Old Faithful.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's got all the different types of landscapes. So you've got all the pretty mountain areas. You've got, like, these meadowy areas. You've got the rivers. You've got the snow-capped mountains. You've got the volcanic. It's just got, like, everything that you can think of. It doesn't have a desert. So if you're into deserts, don't go there.
Speaking of desert, I was listening to this YouTube video the other day, and the guy was just like, yeah, all these people are complaining about, we're saying, how hot it is and, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, y'all say we don't have any humidity, right? This guy was talking about, he's in Utah, and he's in the middle of the desert. He said, but let me show you the ground temperature. And the ground temperature was like 155.
Nice.
And he said that they have to go through several pairs of shoes there in the summer
Because
the soles melt.
That's awesome. Dude, I had a project in, I think, 7th grade science class. It was some kind of junior high science. And the point of the project was we were learning about heat. It was something about heat. And so the project was we had to cook a hot dog, and we could only use the sun as our heating source. So you had to make some kind of oven, and you could be whatever you wanted with, like, household items. And so you had to learn how to, like, capture heat. Like, that was the thing. So people were doing stuff where they'd have, like, a shoe box that they cut the top off of and put, like, a film in so that the light could come in, and then maybe they colored the inside black or something to capture heat. It was that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, some prison stuff.
Some prison stuff. They were trying to train you for if you ever. So that was, like, the general idea. So I think I think for me, I had, like, a Pringles can that you stuck the weenie in, on a stick, and then I had cut, like, half of it out.
Like a rotisserie?
Yeah, and that was supposed to capture. I think that was mine, but it was so hot. It was the middle of the sun. It was like August or something.
You
and
burnt
I
your
had
weenie?
Well, no, I had black shoes on. So we're outside, and, like, we're touching the ground and stuff because we're trying to set our things down to point the sun. And I'm like, dude, it's so hot out here. And I had black shoes on. And I remember I was sitting down and my shoes were burning my skin. And I said, dude, because the criteria to get an A was, like, the hot dog had to reach an internal temperature of X, whatever it was.
So you
and
just
I was
had that
like,
fried.
I said, dude, I bet you if I just put the weenie on my shoe, I could do it. And so I did that too, and we measured it, and it was enough to pass.
Hey, so
And I was like, dude, that's how hot it is here. I didn't even have to build anything. I could have just used my shoe. I just set it down.
This is it. This is it right here. Listen, for all of y'all that say
is
it's
it.
hotter now than it used to be, I'm calling bullcrap.
Tell us about it.
James cooked hot
I
dogs
was
in his
cooking
shoes.
hot dogs on my shoes. Dude, times were tough, bro. I was trying to, I couldn't get an A any other way.
Oh, it's hotter now than it's ever been. Bullcrap.
I just remembered sitting there on the ground, just sweating, being like, this is so stupid. What a stupid thing. Like, I didn't even have to spend my weekend cutting up this Pringles can and stuff. I could have just
He
set
could
my
have took
shoes.
his Reeboks down there.
I was so mad about it. I thought it was the dumbest thing. Just felt like I wasted all my time. I got an A though,
Well, I mean, did you use your shoe at the Pringle box?
I think I used the
He's
Pringle
like, I got a
box.
B plus on the shoes.
Yeah,
Pringles A.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, the trip was good though. It was good. Oh, except for coming home. Coming home was not so good.
Nope.
I mean, I've had worse trip experiences, I'm sure, but not so coming home, it was 2 flights to get home. And we had scheduled like a 4-hour layover in the Denver airport.
So what airline?
This was United.
Okay.
So the closest airport to where their cabin is this town called Cody, Wyoming. It's like an hour away, and it's this tiny little. It's got 2 gates at it, airport.
You have to walk out on the tarmac to get on the plane.
Yeah,
right?
there's not even a tarmac. It's
Yes.
just you just walk out there.
Yeah.
It's one of those, right? Which is whatever. But since it's that, there's only like 1 or 2 airlines that ever fly there, and so it's really annoying. But so anyway, so we took that one to Denver, and then we were on Denver to Houston. And we've got scheduled it's around a 4-hour layover to sit in Denver. And so we're scheduled to come in to get to Houston at like just before 11 o'clock at night. So it was already going to be kind of not the best traveling experience, but it was whatever. And we were good with it, right? And so we're in Denver, we're killing time, doing a good job. We get some food, it's all good. And then I get the text, oh, your flight's been delayed. But it's only been delayed like 20, 30 minutes.
Okay, that's
not
good.
that big a deal. And so I got to text my parents because they're picking me up. Hey, it's going to be a little bit later. And then we get to that gate. And while we're supposed to be boarding the delayed flight, it's delayed a little longer. So anyway, so instead of us getting in at like 11, now we get in at like 12:30 at night. Still not the worst, but it's very annoying. We've been in the airport. We've been traveling since like noon.
Been in the airport for 5 hours now.
So my dad picks us up. He takes us to his house, which is not far from ours, because Tara's car is at his house. So we go there, get in her car to drive home. We live like 6-7 minutes from their house, so it's not a long drive. So we get in her car. It's like 1 a.m. We're going to drive home, and I'm driving. I clip a curb.
Flat tire.
Blowout.
Ah.
And so now, got a blowout. So, which is annoying enough, right? Changing the tire. Tara's very upset because she's been traveling all day. She's so tired. It's like 1:30. I'm changing the tire. I get all the lug nuts off. We get to the last one, and it won't come off.
Oh.
The edges of the lug nut.
Have you done this before?
All the time. I don't know why this always happens to me. I'm on the last one, and I've got the sorry little stock tire tool that comes with the car, and the edges of the lug nut are rounded, so you put the tool on, and it won't grab it. And every time you try and fail, you're making it a little bit worse. So I'm sitting there, I'm trying, and I think I remember I tried it like 5 or 6 times. I was like, it's not going to work, and I'm making it worse. I got to stop trying. It's just one left, just one. And I think I just went to the hood and like laid down and looked up at the sky. I was just like, I was contemplating all my choices here because we're not that far from the house. I could walk in like 30 minutes because I have a tire tool with different size things at the house or in my car. But either way, it's at my house. It's like 2 a.m. or it's probably like 1:30, 1:45 a.m., something like that. And I'm like, I don't want to have to call my parents again because he's probably just got in bed and fell asleep. But he's the closest one, and I know he's got whatever tools.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, do I just walk home and get that? Do I do this? And I was like, I gotta call him. I just have to call him. Sorry, but I gotta call him and have him bring me a tool. And so I'm pulling out my phone. And I was like, don't call him. You don't want to make him come out. I was like, this is it. This is our option.
This makes the most sense.
So I gotta call my dad again, who just like has been waiting at the airport for me.
But us old people, we don't go right to sleep anyways.
No, so I call him and he's like, hello. And I said, you're not going to believe this, but I got a flat tire and I need some tools. And he was just, oh, come on, what are you talking? So he comes out, and we get the tire off. We change it. So I think I got to sleep at like 3 something, which again, whatever. I could do it. And then I'm supposed to work all day the next day because I've been out of town, right? So, but then I got to get up early because I got to go get a tire for my wife's car because it's got that sorry spare on it. And anyway, so coming home was not the best.
At least it wasn't raining this time.
It wasn't raining this time.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I forgot about that one. Yeah, that was a rough one.
I know. You had the same issue.
Same issue.
Yeah.
Different car, same issue.
Yeah.
Anyway, so coming home was a little rough, but we got it changed. I got a tire the next morning, woke up early, got it taken care of. No big deal. $45. Luna's down in Highlands. Get you a nice used one. Shout out to Luna's.
Hey, man, I used to go to Luna's all the time.
Did you really?
Yeah,
in Highlands?
really
You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's so funny. You know the one?
I did because I used to work in Highlands.
Yeah.
So they used to do all my tire stuff.
That's the one that we'd go to for if you just need a cheap
it's
tire.
right down the street from your dad's house.
Yeah, well, and my house too. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had a bad experience one time when he was coming back from Belize, and I got stuck in Dallas. Mm-hmm. And
nobody wants to be in Dallas.
Right? I mean, golly. So the pilot didn't show up.
Typical.
I guess, like, overslept. I mean, what do you do? Like, so they put us on this little small plane, right?
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, we're sorry. We'll put you on this plane, and then we'll get you to Houston. Which is fine, and it was a little small jet, so they got us in Houston in 35 or 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's not a long flight. Dallas to Houston.
Yeah, so they kind of made up the time, right? And then we got there and they were like, oh, we forgot to put y'all's bags on the plane.
Yeah. I saw that one coming.
Yeah. They won't be here for, 3 or 4
3
more
weeks.
hours.
Just that'll be.
Oh, man.
So
that was a terrible one.
That's a good one, man.
Yeah.
These airports, though, it's like.
They're like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, while I was sitting there waiting for our delayed flight, I was sitting there like, I told Tara, I said, I'm not a regulation guy. I'm not a guy who's usually like, they should make a rule to fix this problem. Because generally speaking, I don't think those usually work. And anyway, I was like, but I feel like there's got to be something that somebody could do for these airlines with these. I was like, if they just had a fee or something that they had to pay every time they had a delayed flight or something like that. I was like, because it's just crazy how often that they have delayed flights or whatever, and they're just like, well,
Yeah. Well, what do you want me to do?
And I don't remember what she said, but she's like, well, that probably wouldn't work because of blah, blah, blah. And it made sense when she said it. And I was like, but there's got to be something because it's crazy how often that they're just like, yeah, it's going to be another 3 hours.
Yeah, sorry. It's not like you can go anywhere either.
Yeah.
It's not like you can go to the next restaurant down the street or, the next tire place.
No.
No, you're stuck in
there.
in a city that's not even yours.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Well, at least you had a good time.
But I had a good trip. I really did have a good trip. We did some good hiking. We drove around Yellowstone, hung out in the mountains. It was good. Played a lot of rummy cue.
Okay.
Don't know if you ever played rummy cue.
What did you do at Yellowstone? Just kind of drive around and sightsee?
Okay, so Yellowstone's huge. So if you were to just drive around the whole park, it would take you a few hours. I've seen, so her whole family's, they've all seen Old Faithful. They've seen like the big main attractions. And I saw those ones last time I was there. I would go see them again or whatever, but they're not super interested in going seeing Old Faithful again.
Right.
Or the Grand Prismatics again.
So the that's the multicolored thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
And you just like walk around on it.
On the little boardwalk
And it was
thing.
super cool because we did those ones last time.
Yeah.
So this time we did some hiking. But her dad's got a bad knee at the moment. He's got to have surgery, which he's supposed to be having soon. So he can't really do much. So that was kind of a bummer. And then her mom's got a messed up back. So they're just up there kind of like, we'll drive around, but we're not doing too much.
Is Tara a hiker?
She kind of is now. I mean, she likes doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the one who's like, we'll pick a hike and it'll be kind of tough. It'll be going up a long time. And she'll be like, we got to stop and take a break. We got to stop and take a break. But she'll keep going and she'll do it. And she's happy when we get to the top and all. So we did a few of those. I think we did 3 or 4. The first one, we hit all the main, some of the big spots that you're supposed to see in Yellowstone, where you see like the upper and lower falls of the big river. You go down into the canyon and see that. And you see some of the bigger stuff that you're supposed to see. We did that. And that hike's not too bad. And then me and her did one that was a lot tougher, like just me and her, because some of her family had left or something. And that one was up to the top of what they call Washburn Mountain. And that's one of those ones you get to the top and you can just see as far as you can in every direction. You can see like the whole park and you can see over into the Grand Tetons. And so that was pretty cool. And that was a tough one. But we did that one. Anyway, we just did a few hikes and it was really cool.
That's good. I'm definitely going to go. I think I'm going to go next spring.
The bummer, I was really annoyed though that they had because one of the days we went in just me and her, and you got to get a pass.
Right.
And in my head, you get a day pass, it's less than $10, good to go, right? Because that's how it is in like all the state parks. Now that the lowest amount of time you can get is a week, and the week is like $30. And I was like, just trying to go on a hike real quick. I got to pay $30, dude. I was actually really annoyed at that though. But whatever. I guess if you went in 7 days in a row, it'd be different. But.
Yeah. That was like I almost got messed around on that because I took my boys to, we went and spent some time in Lake Livingston.
Yeah.
We caught a whole mess of fish. I think we caught like, I don't know, 80 fish in 3 hours or something like that.
No big deal.
No big deal. That's what
No
we
big
do.
deal.
But I was going to get my fishing license, and
That too.
it's like it's a calendar year when you get your license.
Mm-hmm.
So if you buy it in like
November.
August, whatever, it expires in the 30th of August.
That's stupid.
So I end up having to buy like a day fishing license. So
I was gonna go fish for up there too. Because they like fly fishing in all the rivers up there.
right.
So I was gonna go one afternoon with one of them, just for like a few hours, just to do it. But I got to get a fishing license, and the cheapest day one was like $50. And I was like, $50?
So up there, do they fly fish with hooks or no hooks?
What are you talking about? How are you gonna catch a fish with no hooks?
Some states they won't let you fish with hooks.
No, you gotta have a hook.
No,
You're
telling
talking
you.
about the barb on the hook.
No, some of them are no hooks.
And how do you catch the fish?
I don't know. Very carefully, they swallow that sucker all the way down. I don't know.
There's got to be a hook. That's not a thing. There's no
It
way.
is. Okay, let me look.
I would bet anything that if they're fishing with a line, does it mean like you can only do net fishing? What are you talking about? There has to be a hook on there. I have heard that they'll have some where like you can't have the barb on the hook. We're gonna have dead air until.
Okay, there are a special group of fishermen and hunters, right? For the fisher person that uses a fly or a lure without a hook.
All right, elaborate. Go ahead.
If the fish grabs it at the end of their line, then they can call this as a counting coop.
So they don't actually reel it in. They just say like, "Oh, I got a bite. I'm the man."
I think no, I've seen it before. I've seen it on YouTube where they actually bring it in with no hook.
I'll just have to take your word for it. But to answer your question, no, that's not.
Now
that's not the
there's
way
a
they
lot
do
of
it
states that you can't have a barb
Yeah,
on the hook
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it messes them up when you pull it out.
yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we went fishing last weekend too. And
but no, I did not go fishing because
we caught a bunch of 3-inch catfish.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just bait fishing the whole day.
Yeah. So now I'm ready to actually go fishing. I got all my bait.
Yeah, and we tried. There was some big like alligator gar out there,
Oh man.
but they weren't hitting.
You ever eaten one?
No,
Me neither.
but my Josh, my son, he catches big 5-6 footers.
And he eats them.
They eat them. Yeah,
And what does he think? I mean, I guess he likes it.
he said that it's a lot like chicken. It's more of a white meat than it is a fish because it's more
Yeah.
like an alligator than it is a fish. So,
Interesting.
Yep.
All right, well, cool.
Yep.
Should
Let's
we
jump
do it?
right into
Culture Corner.
Oh, hey. You going first? Or you want me to?
You go ahead. Go ahead first.
Let me pull up the article. Boom. I said. Boom. There it is. Look at that. Gosh, we're professional. All right, so here's my story. French daredevil, famous for high-rise stunts, dies after falling from the 68th floor of a Hong Kong skyscraper.
About time.
That's what he said. He goes.
About time.
David saw the headline of this and he goes, "Oh, it's about time." Just casually, like he was so excited that this guy died.
No, I'm not excited, but
He
these
was-
dudes, I mean, come on.
He was so happy about it.
You're going to hang off these things for so long before you lose your grip.
Look at this photo.
I mean, yeah, it's a cool photo until you fall.
Yeah. Well, he did. He all right, French daredevil, Remy.
That's the part right there.
Okay. They couldn't see you point. I'll just let
Yeah, just
I'll let them just guess at what you pointed at. Known for scaling skyscrapers around the world.
What's his last name?
They can't see you point, dude. Lucidi?
Yeah,
I think.
Ludacris.
That's you're out of control again. Remy Enigma. That's his stage name, I guess.
Enigma.
Died falling from
That's what it
68th
looked like
floor.
when he hit the ground.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, dude. It was believed that the 30-year-old fell to his death at the I don't know how to say it at the tower complex after being trapped outside trying to climb in the building. So he's
Come
dude. So he's
They're making an excuse.
so look. I'll just read you.
They're
this.
not gonna admit that his grip wasn't what it was supposed to be.
Well, yeah. I mean, they did. So look, it says
He fell because he couldn't get back in the building. No, he was hanging off the side, and he got sweaty palms.
yeah. So it says local police say he arrived at the building sometime in the evening and claimed he was meeting a friend on the 40th floor. Instead, however, the daredevil reportedly took the elevator to the 49th floor, where he then traveled up the stairs to the top of the building. The Independent reported it is believed that when Lucidi moved to the outside of the building, he became trapped. He reportedly began to frantically knock on a window, startling a maid, after which he lost his footing and plummeted to his death. So he goes out there,
I don't believe
realizes he can't get back in, and is like, hey, let me in to this lady. Scares her, and then fall. Can you imagine being the maid? And you just see this dude outside,
I think the
and you're
maid,
like, what? And then he just
I
falls?
think the maid scared him. He was like, ah! And then he's like, ah!
I don't know. Hotel workers said the building's security guard had quickly attempted to confirm his claims about visiting a friend on the 40th floor, but he had already entered the elevator before they could get more information. Here he is.
So the cleaning lady was like, what was that?
Yeah.
Oh, and then he was
And he's
gone,
gone.
and then he would just, she always
But check it out. They find his body. It says he was last seen alive around 7:30 p.m. on July 27th outside the window on the. Can you imagine? That's the last scene outside the window on the 68th floor penthouse. It says soon afterward, local police received a call about a gas leak at the building. When they arrived, they found his body, which had apparently broken a gas pipe when it fell. So they found his body because he fell, broke a pipe, and they go check out, like, why is this gas leaking? And like, they find his body underneath it somehow. On his body, investigators found a French ID card, some footage of his, So, anyway.
So, did he have footage of him falling?
It doesn't say that. It just says he had footage of, like, some of his other stuff. I'm sure he would.
It's too bad.
It's so bad, dude. Can you imagine, though? So bad.
Oh, this is what they always do when people die. He was such a friendly and humble guy.
Yeah, so he was staying in some hostel in Hong Kong, and they asked some of the people there, and they're like, yeah, he was super cool. Seemed to you like he was really friendly. He was really nice.
He was happy-faced.
He was healthy and fit and happy-faced. I feel very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're a bummer.
I don't
but,
feel as sad as these people.
No, David's pumped. David's so excited about it.
What is it saying? He died on losing his footing while attempting a backflip. What is that about?
Wait, what? Attempting a backflip? After reading about the tragic death, read about... Oh, this is a different one. It's saying you should check out this other story. I mean, we can if you want.
No, that's okay.
But that's the story.
I mean, I think if you're hanging out on the top of the buildings,
at some point you're gonna fall. That is the problem with stuff like this is like you don't get a second chance. There's no... Yeah. If you mess up, you're done.
You're done.
And yeah, that was it. But that's the story, man.
Yep. Well, it happens to the best of them.
It happens, I guess so.
I got an interesting story.
Okay, let's hear it.
This is the first Christian shoe.
That's how I feel about that headline. Go ahead. Tell me more about it.
What makes a shoe Christian?
That's what I'm saying. What are you doing? Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Jonathan Isaac, he plays for the Magic. He has now launched his first clothing line called Judah. And he has a shoe that he's just launched, and it's already has 5 colorways, and they're calling it the first Christian shoe.
Okay.
So, and each one of them has their own name: Triumph, Exodus, Lion of Judah, and they all got different colorways. But I guess this guy, there is some positive stuff here. He's using his name and playing in the NBA to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ through his shoes.
Okay.
But I always,
Can I see what they look like? You gotta.
No.
Okay. Never mind. Sorry, I asked on that one.
It's blurred out. I mean, it's not really blurred out, but it's like.
I mean, was it got like crosses all over it, or what's the
It looks
deal?
like a Jordan or something,
That's a horrible photo.
There's nothing special about
Can't
it.
see anything on this photo. Look on David's screen. That's the photo.
That's the photo.
And it's not just because I'm holding on the phone. Like, it's really that bad of a photo.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go. Okay.
So,
Good promo, bruh.
but they said it's going to be right around the $100 price range, so it's not terrible for a basketball shoe.
Yeah, those can get crazy.
They all have verses on them, though, in the heel.
Okay, there you go. So that's what it is.
That's what makes
They
it
got
Christian.
verses.
I thought they sent it to, like, seminary or something, but no.
Are they all blessed by a priest? Or
They might have, like...
do they...
Oh, you remember that one shoe that what's his name did? The black gay guy that did the country song?
Oh, Lil Nas?
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas
When he
X?
put the blood in the shoe. You remember that
I
one?
don't remember that.
Oh, yeah. He came out with his shoe, and he had put blood in him because for like some devil shoe or something.
Yeah?
So this
Whose
guy's
blood was it?
I don't know. Maybe his blood. I
In
don't
one
know.
pair of shoes? Or
no,
if he did...
in the whole thing. Yeah, there was like a drop of blood in every pair of shoe or something like that.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does that even mean? In the shoe? Like,
Look it up, bro. Look it up. Look it up. And
I'll
I'm going
look
to
it
finish
up.
talking about this. So he had blood,
yeah.
but Jonathan Isaac has the blood of the lamb.
Oh, that's the blood of the lamb.
How you like me now?
That was pretty good. I liked it. I liked the delivery of it too. That was nice. All right, let's see.
Little Nas X, blood and shoe.
Is it Lil
Lil Vert, Lil Wayne.
X blood?
There you go. On eBay already.
Oh, blood shoes, eBay. Oh, they're going for
$2,000.
Okay, what's this? I need to take eBay out of the thing because it's gonna be. Yeah, here we go.
I think they're Nikes too.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, they are Nikes. Contain blood.
Okay, let's see. Let me
Sell out in under a minute.
let's pull this on the screen there. Okay, unofficial Satan Nikes containing human blood. Let's see it.
Oh, look at the eyes.
Gosh, he is so good at promo. Have you heard that he's not even gay? You heard that?
Whoa. What does that say? Luke 10:18.
Oh, I don't know. Pull up the verse. He got the mark, the beast.
Ooh, the
Look at
1666.
Look at it. Let's read. Lil Nas launched a controversial pair of Satan shoes featuring a bronze pentagram, an inverted cross, and a drop of real human blood, and they sold out almost immediately. That's how I feel when I read these ridiculous articles. The black and red sneakers, part of a collaboration between Lil Nas X and New York-based art collective, were made using Nike Air Max 97s through the sportswear brand. Okay, but what are you talking about the blood? Let's see. What does it mean?
While you look for the blood, this is what Luke 10:18 says. It says, yes, he told them, this is Jesus talking. I saw Satan fall from the heavens like lightning.
Okay. So they just put that on there.
Yeah, because it said Satan.
Because it had Satan.
And
in
he
it.
fell out of heaven.
The shoes looked outraged.
So, yeah, I forgot about these shoes. So this dude here had blood in his shoes.
Okay, hey, check this out. So that art collective, known for irreverent drops, a series of tongue-in-cheek art projects unveiled once every 2 weeks. In 2019, the collective released limited edition Jesus shoes,
Jesus.
also made from the Nike Air Max 97 sneakers, which featured a steel crucifix and, quote, holy water sourced from the Jordan River.
So let me tell you something.
So this is all just like nonsense that
Let me tell you something,
they're using to
Jonathan
sell some stuff.
from the Magic NBA basketball team. You are not the first Christian shoe.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So you can't claim that because
Although
they
I
done put
think
holy water in these shoes.
that's right. Although I think if I read it right, it said tongue in cheek.
Oh,
so
tongue in cheek. So they're like, not really Christian.
They're not really that holy. If I read that right, is that what I read
Tap
right?
water. It's like New York, like
Yeah.
New York, like water from the water fountain.
Is known for its irreverent drops, a series of tongue-in-cheek art projects unveiled once every 2 weeks. And then, one of them was So yeah, I guess it
What
was
is this?
silly.
Read this one right here.
He referenced one YouTube review, Michael J. Mitchell, on the accounts A Sneaker Life, who first did an unboxing video, then posted a follow-up video called I Threw the Nike Satan Shoes Away. He did so, Weisner said, because his fans had reacted so poorly to the concept, which is extremely funny. These are quotes from...
Winsinger.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
Anyway, all right, here we go.
There you go.
Oh, who is this guy? Says, everybody just relax, bro. I'm a man of God. Wait, okay, in the 8-minute video, Mitchell announced he's getting, so this is the YouTuber. Okay, so the YouTuber guy announced
He's like, I'm throwing them away. Everybody relax.
Yeah, he's getting rid of the sneakers before tossing them down the trash chute in his apartment building. He shows them in the box before they make their descent. I'm throwing them away, bro, straight up. I'm not keeping this energy around me whatsoever. Everybody just relax, bro. I'm a man of God.
Yeah.
Well said, bruh.
Yeah. He's trying to save face.
Everybody just relax, bro.
That's how I feel sometimes. Just everybody relax.
Everybody relax, bro. He said everybody, bro.
Everybody, bro. My son calls me bro all the time.
No cap, bro.
I'm not your bro. Like,
No cap, bro. Real talk. I'm a man of God. Real talk. Those shoes are pretty mid. Did I get a little too hip on you?
I don't know what you're saying.
That's what I said. I work with 18-year-olds.
What are you capping?
No, there's no cap on this.
No cap. What is
No
the cap?
cap?
Like on my water over here, like no cap. Like take the cap off.
Hey, bro, no cap. Those shoes are actually mid.
No cap, man. They're dead stop.
All right, you want to play this song? What do we want to do?
Yeah, let's play.
play this.
I got something else.
Okay, tell me.
You know what I
something
think
else.
is kind
I'll
of
get
scary,
these up. Let's
and I
hear it.
know I always tend to go politics.
Yeah,
And that's why
that's what we like.
I have a hard time coming up with topics sometimes because I always tend to go politics, and I don't like to go politics on the podcast.
You're always pitching me ideas. You're like, Trump is actually the new savior? Should we talk about that? Actually,
I actually don't like Trump. I actually don't like Trump very much, but he's better than the evil on the other side.
good. There you go again, dude.
But I thought it was very interesting how. And I'm probably good. Never mind.
Tell us about it, man. Let's go. Come on.
Remember Hunter Biden's laptop?
Oh, I remember.
So they got 51 people.
Yeah.
51 people to say they went through the laptop and was like, no, there's nothing about Ukraine or Russia or nothing on here, right? They all 51 high-level CIA, FBI
I thought the
people.
51 thing was about the Trump-Russia thing.
No, this was about the laptop.
Because they did that for that, too.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
And then those 51 people are like, no, there's nothing on there.
Yeah.
And then they come out with hey, did y'all hear about the UFOs?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're real.
Yeah,
There's like sightings, and we got these little gremlins running around. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, there was some stuff.
There actually was.
Yeah, low key.
Low key, no
No cap.
There low key was some stuff on the laptop.
But the 51 people are still. They're like, yeah, there's nothing on there. Like, come on.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Hey, let me play this for you.
Okay.
Since we're going to be talking about, since we're in politics right now.
Let's do it. I can't wait to hear what it is. Show me.
Oh, man.
What are you pulling up?
I'm pulling up a speech by Obama.
Oh.
All right.
Flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe. Once they lose trust in their leaders, in mainstream media, in political institutions, in each other, in the possibility of truth, the game's won.
What's the context of that?
He's talking to other political guys and just saying, listen, if we just get these guys to not.
He's talking about the U.S. or is he talking about
Yeah, the U.S. Mm-hmm. He's talking about if we just get them to quit believing, can't know what's real and what's not real.
That's true.
Don't trust the media, don't trust each other.
Yeah.
Then we won. Who's we?
Boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Illuminati?
I would guess he's probably talking about some country that we're like invading for whatever reason. That would be my guess. Either way, though, it still applies to any government.
Yeah. Scary.
Yeah.
So are we really a free country?
That's the question. Who's free?
And
Who's in charge? Who are they?
So I'm not really a big conspiracy guy.
Where do the aliens fit in?
I'm not a real big. So do you think there's aliens?
I still am kind of out on it. I don't believe. I definitely don't trust the government, which is I think a fair thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't believe that they tell us the truth almost ever. So I don't necessarily believe they're. Anytime they talk about aliens, I don't necessarily believe it.
Yeah, because it's always like, look what this hand is doing over here, and then
Yeah.
while they're like waving this hand, they're like doing something under the table.
Dude, I watched some documentary like 7 years ago or something. I wish I could remember what it was called. But it was this dude who like used to work for the government.
Yeah.
And in the whole documentary is like him being like, we actually have all these programs and there actually is aliens. But most of the stuff you're seeing is not actually alien stuff. It's all government lies. And his whole thesis was he was predicting that. So this was like 7 or 8 years ago, and he was predicting that at some point the government's going to be like, oh, we actually got all this alien tech, but it's actually going to be our own tech. It's just going to be so advanced that it'll look like alien stuff because it'll be such an advanced technology that we won't, because it's been like under wraps for so long. And he claims that like we got it from some actual alien stuff like Roswell or something decades ago, and then we've been like reverse engineering it. And then he says his theory is that at some point the government's going to come out and be like, yo, alien invasion, but it's really just going to be them faking an alien invasion, and you won't be able to tell the difference because the technology is so advanced. And the whole reason that he was saying he was to do that because then it'll be like a power grab. It'll be them being like, this is how we come together because aliens are invading. Everybody will come together to fight for the good of mankind, and then they can grab a bunch of power that way. And then it was also, he claims that like they have like the technology that they have from all this stuff they'd be able to have so much like free clean energy. You could like just basically wipe out the oil industry, wipe out all those dirty energy sectors of the economy.
Right.
And his thesis is that they won't do that because then it'll just like ruin the economy and it'll cost a lot of these people in charge a lot of money. And anyway, it was just like a crazy thing, but it was like
This is really crazy.
But that was my thing was if you believe what he said, like if you just like decided to say, okay, the government does have this technology, then everything made sense. It was like if you actually believed that like at some point we did have some crashed spaceships and that they captured and reverse engineered. It was like if you bought into that, everything else he said made sense. And I remember just watching documentaries like that because usually if I watch some weird alien thing or some weird paranormal thing, there's usually like, oh, that was kind of interesting, but you don't buy most of it.
Right.
But there's usually like one or two here and there. Like maybe it's like an hour-long special that has like 6 stories in it. There's usually like one that I'm like, that was pretty interesting. And the other ones are like, it's stupid.
Yeah, that's how I am.
But I remembered watching this one. I was like, well, if you bought into this original thesis, all of this other stuff made perfect sense. And I always think of that documentary because everything he predicted has just been slowly happening. And it was really interesting to me. It was some old Netflix doc called, I want to say it was called like Unacknowledged. That's what it was.
What about the theory of that we're just here to mine like precious metals for the aliens?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. That one I feel like is I mean, it's kind of fun, I guess, but I don't know about that one.
Yeah, me neither.
Because are they, like, where are they getting?
I think it's fun, though.
Are we, like, shipping it to them?
They're just going to, after we mine it all, they're just going to come back and get it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's fun to think about.
I don't know, man.
We're over here running around with our heads cut off, like, I gotta get more gold.
Yeah.
And then one day they're just gonna swoop in and take it all from us.
But okay, let's bring it back to Christianity because we're Christians.
That's
here.
right. Oh yeah, that's a Christian
that's right,
podcast.
dude. So okay, so there's aliens. So what now? Where does that put us?
That's the one thing that I think, like, are we so special that God only made us?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that we think that we're that special?
Yeah.
That that he didn't, like, in some other universe somewhere, they have something else that's going on that's God-centered also?
Yeah.
I kind of sometimes have a hard time believing that we're the only one.
I've heard. Okay, so if that's the case, I've heard people argue something along the lines of, so God had to come and die for our sins, right? So he sent Jesus to us to die for our sins. So does that mean there's all these other planets with all these other civilizations? Did Jesus die for their sins too? If so, do they have their own, Bibles that's talking about Jesus dying for them? Or did Jesus have to go to all their planets to die for all of them?
I think there was, like, another one was like, nano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a different Jesus. It was God in a different form
Yeah.
that went to all these other ones and died for them.
I mean, you seen that show back in the day? Oh no, you're too young for that. What
I
was
didn't
that?
see it.
What was that one? It was
Nobody's
like,
seen the show. No.
No.
I don't know. That actually does sound familiar.
Yeah. What is it? It's the, oh man, the guy he just recently, like, last couple of years committed suicide. That comedian,
Robin Williams?
Robin Williams. Yeah.
That was like 15 years ago, dude.
Was it really?
I feel like I was in high school.
All right, look it
Or
up.
junior high.
Look it up. Nanu, Robin Williams.
All right. I'll do it here real quick. It's faster.
Okay. Tell me what show that was.
Nanu, Robin Williams.
I feel like he was the Jesus on another galaxy too.
Nanu?
Series like
Daddy Dewdrop?
No.
It's like, Robin Williams. Let's see if that's up. Goodbye for now, Nanu. Important message from Robin Williams. It looks like it's just like a YouTube video. Mork and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy.
Yeah, that's an older one.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but that is theologically, those are the things that I haven't figured out. If you go like, okay, there are aliens. What does that actually mean as far as like?
I mean, they send Jesus to an alien planet. He would kind of stick out a little bit. They wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a Jewish dude. Like,
Yeah.
I need someone with.
But
does
that mean
big
that
eyes.
God sent Jesus in their form over there? And I'm sure there's tons of scriptures that you could quote that totally destroy these questions at all.
I'm sure we need Pastor Caesar here.
Yeah, we do. We really need him.
He's the Bible scholar.
My general view is always like, I don't know. The Bible doesn't really say there's not aliens, I don't think. So I don't know.
Well, the Bible says that God came from Edom.
Oh.
So where's Edom? It's a place in the Bible, but it's more. It talks about more of a not really a physical place. So I don't know. Interesting.
But then I always go back to like, you always get, because anytime you have these questions that are like just these big unanswered questions, it doesn't have to be something as silly as aliens. It could be just like, why is there suffering in the world? And, why do good things happen to bad people?
Yeah.
And all those kind of questions. I always have to just go back to like, what do you know for sure is true? Like, what is for sure the truth? And you have to go into all these, you just have to like remind yourself of all the experiences you've had where you know that God did this in your life and you saw him do this. And then you go, okay, God is definitely real. God loves me. And like, you have to go back to just the basics and remember all that. And you go, I don't know about the galaxy way over there, but I know that God's real. He's come. I believe that the Bible's his word. And, you can go back. This is why I believe that, because I know I've seen this in my life. I always have to be, anytime I get a little too lost with these crazy questions.
That's why I don't get wrapped up into it, because I have a son that, man, he's got all the conspiracies, and I just can't get into them.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I don't have the capacity to even deal with it. I got so much stuff going on in my life, like.
Yeah, man, you got pools to clean.
I got
dude.
pools to clean, I had stuff to do,
You got to get that grass cut because your kids ain't about to do it. Am I right? That's a throwback.
Yeah, you gotta watch. You gotta be in.
You know, your kids ain't about to cut their grass.
Have you thought about going solar?
I'm definitely gonna go solar eventually,
Yeah.
or something. I think it'll be solar.
Driving a Tesla,
Yeah.
get all of the solar salesmen
Oh yeah.
and Walmart
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
and Ross.
I think I would
Hey
definitely.
man,
go.
is that your Tesla? Have you ever thought about going solar? Yeah.
It's so funny. I never would have put that together.
Oh man,
That's so good. You're not solar yet? So what do you tell them? You thought about going solar?
I thought about going solar. I'm not, I'm an oil and gas guy by heart. I mean, we live in the South. We live in this area. I mean, there's nothing but plants around us.
True.
I think there's room for both. Definitely room for oil and gas. We need oil and gas, but we also can take some of that, that pressure off the fossil fuels with electric.
Yeah.
So
But you don't want to go for it? Get some.
I do.
Save some money.
I do. So
down the road.
So we use do you know how many kilowatts a month that you use?
I don't know.
Okay. So the average kilowatt is at somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 for
your house.
just a regular size home.
Gotcha.
Okay. We use 7,000 kilowatts.
Yeah, I mean you got that Bel Air mansion, so.
Well, then we have my parents run the air conditioner at 69 degrees all day, every day.
Yeah.
7 days a week. So we basically have two homes there, and so there's not enough square footage on my property to have enough, solar panels to do that,
cover
and it's not a forever home.
Yeah.
So once we get in our forever home, we're definitely going to look into solar.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking.
Yeah.
Mostly just because I'm not really in it for the whole like going green thing, which
Right.
is fine. That's cool if that's why you're getting them. I'm more in it because I don't want to pay a big electric bill. Just being honest.
Right.
But it costs more money to get them installed. It's like the upfront cost is more, but down the road you save money eventually.
Right.
And so just like you said, like I'm not in my forever home or whatever, so it doesn't make sense for me to spend thousands of dollars getting it installed and then move.
Yeah. There's a lot of programs right now that really help you with bring the cost and stuff down to go solar.
Oh, I'm sure you've heard all about them, yeah.
Yeah, they knock on my door 3 times a month.
Yeah.
So, and we went through the process. We had them come out and measure and look at the bills and do all the analytics and everything, and it's just it doesn't work out for us.
Well, I think I told you our master plan for our like long-term home is to one of these days we want a little patch of land, like an acre-ish, nothing too crazy, but a little patch.
Yeah.
We'll have our main house on it, probably be like a 3-bed, 2-bath, nothing too crazy, and that'll be like the main living house. And then we'll have 2 other buildings. One of them will be my studio. The other one will be Tara's studio. Again, nothing crazy, but they'll be like their own separate little buildings. So, because right now, if we were going to have everything in one building, to have like my studio and to have space for her to get dirty and stuff, I mean, we would need like a 5-bedroom house plus a big garage, maybe a workshop. Like, we would need this really big thing. Whereas if we kind of just made separate little buildings out of it, you don't need a huge house. And I've seen a lot of what we're probably going to do is do some kind of prefab home for like the main home once we get the land, because you can get them a lot cheaper.
Yep.
And then you can buy like little like tiny house kind of things
Well, you see
for
that?
like $20,000 or less,
You
depending
see what
on
that Elon Musk has?
which one does
He
he have.
has I think it's like $10,000 for the tiny house, and it's you can stack them, so you can buy.
Is it the boxable thing? Is that him?
Yeah, I think it's a boxable.
Boxable's a big one.
Yeah, so you can buy it, and then you can buy like
Yeah, you can buy another one.
10,000 and stick it to it.
But that's what I'm saying. So if I just need a room,
Yeah,
I could buy something like that.
yeah, I
And
think that'd be cool.
that would be my studio. And then she just needs a room. I mean, she just needs like a shed basically with some AC, and we need to get some water to it. But basically, I figured I could do all of that stuff for a lot cheaper than if you just built a house that actually had all that stuff.
Right.
So that's our big master plan, is to have something like that at some point. And I think I could do it for $250, maybe $300 max, depending on like how much the land costs and all that. But Anyway, so whenever we do that, we'd like to have a little more off-grid stuff to keep all of our monthly bills down and all
Have
that
some
kind
chickens
of stuff.
running around.
Yeah, she talked about having chickens and all.
Yeah.
I'm down to have a little bit of that stuff, but I don't want that. You know, the more animals and stuff you get, the more that's just your life is.
Feeding animals.
You gotta scoop the poop out of the shed. You gotta feed them. You gotta all that stuff. And
If you had like 3 chickens just to spot,
yeah,
do
no
some
big
eggs,
deal.
you know?
No big deal.
You eat a lot of eggs?
We have been lately.
Yeah.
I never usually was a big egg guy, but I've been doing it more lately. If I just need something, if we don't have anything, we don't have like leftovers or something around the house, and I need something real quick.
Well, you throw you 3 eggs
got-
in
yeah,
the pan
get you a
and
few
put them
eggs.
on a sandwich with a piece of cheese.
Oh, you make a sandwich out of it?
Oh, yeah, man.
Nah, I just put them on the plate,
No bread.
put a little hot sauce on there.
And a piece of pepper jack cheese.
I sprinkle some cheddar in there
That's good too.
at the end. Some cheddar
What about
cheese.
what about omelets?
I haven't actually made one, but I love one. I love omelets.
Oh, I thought
I love those.
This is the cheat.
She made me one at some point a while back.
This is the cheat. So
Let's hear the cheat.
bacon bits, like you get from a salad.
Let's get David full screen. Tell
Yeah.
us about
So
it.
you get the bacon bits off the salad, right?
Yep.
And they're already cooked and everything. Get that omelet, throw that stuff, them eggs in there, throw little sprinkles, some little cheese, little bacon bits, and then if you had some jalapenos from the refrigerator,
Yeah, I love some jalapenos in
throw
it.
those in there.
Love those, dude.
Get your little, whatever you have in there in the cabinet. Throw a little seasoning on it.
Into it. I'm into it. I like to throw a little spinach in there too if I have it. Spinach is one of those things that I don't think adds much flavor for anything, but you get some more nutrition.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me that it's there.
So you like cooked spinach or just raw?
So what'll happen is at some point I'll buy some spinach for something. Maybe it's like a soup recipe that calls for a little bit of spinach in it or something like that. So then I'll have a bag of spinach.
Yep.
And whatever recipe I'm using, it never calls for like a pound of spinach, but that's how they sell it, you know. So then what I'll do is if I make like a protein smoothie or something, I'll throw some spinach in there. If I make some eggs, I'll throw a handful of spinach in the pan at the end. I'll just like throw some spinach and stuff just to
eat it.
just because I have it.
Yeah, I like raw spinach. I don't like cooked down like.
Yeah, if it's in a salad, we'll eat it. I don't do it when I cook it. I'm not doing anything. I'm throwing it in the soup at the very end.
Right.
You know, I'm throwing it in the eggs as I'm about to take them out.
I remember coming home, you smell that spinach, and I'm just like, oh.
No. That's not as bad as a cauliflower.
Yeah. You don't like cauliflower? I don't like cauliflower.
I don't like the smell of it.
Have you ever eaten that cauliflower mashed potatoes?
I just don't know why you would. It's the problem. A lot of these like they replace stuff with veggie meals. They're like, oh,
'Cause
but
it's
look,
supposed
it's
to
a
be
black
healthy.
bean burger.
It's supposed to be healthier.
I'm like, dude, if I want to eat healthy, you know, I'll just eat some chicken breasts and some veggies. Like, I don't need. If I'm gonna eat potatoes, I'll eat potatoes.
Yeah, but when you're fat like me,
You just don't eat potatoes for every meal. You know, you go.
but then you like a little potato every once in a while. So you
Anytime
can
I
cut.
eat one of these, it's not really meat. It's not really whatever.
I don't
I'm
do
just
the-
always
I don't
like.
do the meat substitute.
I'm just like, what are we doing here? I'm tasting it. I'm like, I mean, I guess it's okay.
It's just okay. It's not good.
It's never like better than the original.
Have you ever had meat substitutes?
I'm not into that, dude.
Yeah, I haven't either.
There's no way.
That's where I draw the
there's
line.
no way it's more healthy for you. There's no way.
So you couldn't be vegan?
No,
No, me neither.
it doesn't make sense.
Saying vegan people are stupid.
I don't think. I don't think they're. I'm
just joking.
It depends. I
really.
think you're. For me, it depends on why you're being vegan. If
Yeah.
you are vegan because you think you're saving the world and you're just trying to save all the animals, I
Right.
don't.
You're like against like cow farts.
Yeah, I don't really think you've thought everything through. But good for you. Go for it.
If it's a healthy thing, like
If,
you're
if
trying
it's
to
a
be
healthy
healthy,
thing,
yeah.
I think you also haven't thought it all through.
Yeah, right.
Because the only way you're really going to get all your nutrition is if you're taking a bunch of supplements.
Yeah,
So, and
yeah.
if that's the way you have to,
So maybe you are really stupid.
So I don't know, man. But
And I'm sure there's some really nice vegan people.
Well, a lot
out
of people will have. There's all sorts of people that have all sorts of different autoimmune whatever stuff, and they're allergic to this and that, and you eat this and it does that to you, and for whatever reason, a vegan diet works for them, and now they don't have inflammation all the time. Or
like
their
Jordan
stomach doesn't hurt.
Peterson's daughter. She's like all meat all the time.
Yeah, but it's not even just that. It's like specifically lamb, if I'm not mistaken. Because for some reason, there's something about lamb over beef and whatever other stuff. And he's like pretty much just like steaks all day, if I'm not mistaken. But that for them,
That's cool.
If you got the steak, give me another steak, dude. But for them, that was the thing. Is like they had all these health issues, and they kept like trying to figure out like what is it, and they've narrowed it down to like they're just allergic to all these foods.
Rogan said he tried the carnivore diet.
I think he still does it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's off and on, but he said, man, when you first try it, it's you gotta be careful because your poopy pants.
Yeah.
You said you can't trust farts.
Dude, I went to IHOP with my parents the other day. First time in a long time. And I don't know if it was the IHOP, but coming home from IHOP, it's me, Tara, and my parents. And it just hit me, and I said, I gotta go to the bathroom right now. And we're like 7 minutes from their house. And we get like 5 minutes away, and I'm like, I've got to go. I'm sitting there going, I'm doing this thing. You know what I mean? You're like sitting on your side, bro. And I was like, and I'm getting sweaty. And I was like, oh no. I said, I don't know what's going on, but I gotta go. And so it was bad enough to where I'm sitting there thinking, as soon as we pull in the driveway, I'm gonna have to just jump out and run to the bathroom, right? And since I'm thinking that, I'm like, I guess I gotta tell people because I was pretty. Because if I didn't tell them, I knew they were thinking like, we're gonna pull in the driveway, we're gonna get out and they say, hey, it was good seeing y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good night.
Like,
but
no, I locked
but
the
I'm
door,
like,
I gotta go.
yeah. So I said, guys, I don't know, I don't know what's going on, but I guess the IHOP's just not sitting with me. But I've got to go to the bathrooms as soon as we get home. I gotta go. And they're like, oh, okay, no problem, whatever.
They're close
And
to
I'm
you.
sitting
Like,
there,
no, really.
Tara's looking at me. She goes, are you sweating? And I said, I'm sweating. and I like had some sweat on. I'm gonna go. And then we pull up to their house. I jump out. I run to the front door, and they've got one of those like keypads so you could type in a code and it'll unlock it. So I type in the code and I hear it start to unlock, and I push the door to open it and it's not opening. And I'm like, oh, what is this? And so I'm trying to type it in again, and it's like going, and I'm pushing this thing and it's going. And my mom goes, oh yeah, if you push it too fast, it messes it up. You gotta like push the code, let it do the thing, wait a second, and then go in. And I'm just so then she's typing in the code. So I'm sitting there just like, man, because the door won't open. Anyway, I made it and everything's fine. But I come out and Tara's like, you okay? I said, I don't know what happened, but I just had to go. And she goes, yeah, anytime you have to announce to the group that you got to go to the bathroom, it's
serious. It's serious.
Yeah, it was pretty serious.
Why is that conversation so funny?
I don't know, dude. It was so rough, dude.
I mean, from the time you're kids, farts and all that stuff.
Yes.
See, I said it and you cracked up.
I'm just thinking of all my dumb little kid interactions where people are like laughing, poo poo, ha ha ha.
It's always so funny. I don't get it, but I mean, it's worth a good time.
It was a good time. I made it.
This podcast just really went to the crapper.
You're out of control, dude. Dude, we've been going for an hour 6. You realize that?
Should we just stop right here?
I mean, we can if you want to.
Do you have anything else to say?
I brought something that I could say because you said you didn't have anything.
All right. Well, come on, let's go.
Okay, well, I was going to share.
How long we been going? An hour?
An hour 7
Come
now.
on, we got 10, 20 minutes.
All right, that's cool.
Just
Because I don't have like notes or anything.
Okay,
I was
good.
just going to share with you an experience I had and let you react, I guess.
All right.
It's about
Hey,
thankfulness.
this dude right here is really bothering me.
I'll get him off the screen. Jeez, dude.
So,
You're getting
put old Nas X back up. I mean,
you're getting wrapped into. You're about to buy some solar. There he is.
there you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Golly, dude. You got me losing my train of thought and stuff.
All right. So you had this experience.
Okay, so I was going to talk about thankfulness, being grateful.
Okay.
So that's what we can talk about. Okay, so I've talked about before how I've had back issues here and there, and like several times over the years, you know, I'll go where I'll just be doing kind of normal stuff, and I'll just tweak something in my back, and then I can't walk for like 2 days.
You need to go with the little suction
Oh,
cup,
you didn't
bro.
even tell me about the suction thing. You like brought it up, and then
Yeah, you need to go have that done. So what it does
Well-
is it pulls the blood into the muscle, and it's kind of like doing where they do that's what do they call it when they take your own blood and they shoot it back into your muscles.
I don't know. They ain't never done that to me.
Yeah, never mind then.
I don't have health care, bro.
I just heard other people do it,
I don't know.
like to regenerate like cartilage and different things in bones and stuff like that.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Yeah. I don't think
Anyway.
it's legal in America yet, anyways.
It probably isn't.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
What was I saying?
Being
Oh yeah,
thankful
okay.
about
So
your back aches.
over the years, I've had back issues
Yeah.
from time to time, right? And every time I have them, where I can't walk for a day or two, then like to get back to normal, I have to do all these like muscle strengthening exercises specifically for all the muscles around your lumbar. And I got to do all these stretches every day, like just to get to baseline.
Did I tell you about the one that you put you put your ankle on your knee
Oh yeah.
and then lean
Where you, like-
forward?
yeah. I do those like almost every day
That
now.
feels so great.
What that? Yeah, because that stretches all the.
Oh yeah,
Y'all can't see it, dude.
The bottom of your glute, the top
Well,
of
it's
your
like
leg.
the side. It gets that IT
And-
band up here where
oh,
it
yeah.
connects. Because I'm pretty sure that was the source of my knee pain that I had when I was running
my favorite
before.
one.
I do. Anyway, so that's a thing I've had to deal with. I've also had over the years, thankfully not too recently. I can't remember. It's probably been over a year or so since last time I had this, where I have those cluster headache things, which I think I've mentioned on here before too. And those ones are so rough where when I have those, if you don't know what a cluster headache is, it's described as one of, if not the like most painful types of pain that people experience.
So is it different than the other headache?
It's
What is the other one that's real bad?
talking about migraines.
Migraines.
It's different, and it's supposed to be worse. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever had a migraine. It's tough to compare things because if you haven't experienced it, it's tough to be like this was better or worse than it.
So migraine is like neurological. Is the clusters something different?
So I don't know enough to explain it properly,
Okay.
but they call it cluster headaches because the thing that causes the pain is in like the headache family of pain, whereas whatever causes the pain when you have a migraine is like a different thing than
It's
headaches.
neurological. Yeah, it's more of a nervous type deal.
So
nervous
sure,
system.
I don't know, but I'll take your word on it.
Okay.
But the way it was explained to me, it was like it's in the headache family, which is kind of misfortunate whenever I'm having issues with it and you try to tell somebody, because since it's got headache in the name, it seems like less.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't seem. You know, you had a headache.
ibuprofen, let's go.
It's like no, it's not like at all what you're thinking of.
Like, bro, it's in my head.
And it's in my head. Anyway, so I've had those from time to time, and those get their nickname is called suicide headaches because the percentage of people that suffer from them that commit suicide is like, I don't remember what the percentage is. We could probably look it up. But
So should I be worried?
no, I'm good to go. Bro.
Okay.
It's but it's like a crazy number. In fact, I'll Google it real quick just because I brought it up. It's like 30, 40. It's like a crazy number.
You don't travel over the Baytown Bridge very often, do you?
Yeah, like every day.
Oh my gosh. You know, that's like one of the number one suicide places in Houston.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind, bro.
Yeah, people are always driving up to the top and then, you know, doing like this Frenchie over here and falling to the bottom.
Cluster headache migraine account for 7. Wait. 1% of all suicides are due to these. Just all suicides. But what
That's
was
probably
it?
a lot.
Yeah.
When we're talking about suicides,
What is
because
called
people are checking out daily on that stuff.
cluster headache is arguably the most severe pain condition that affects humans. The severity of the pain has earned its nickname suicide headaches. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to spend time like reading through
No, I
to
like
try to
drive-
find it. But oh wait, here we go. Cited by, let me click on this one. I think this one has a percentage here. I accept your cookies. God.
I like driving by cemeteries and going, people are dying to get in there.
Yeah, you classic. Classic. Okay, Okay, let's see. 100 cluster head results. This is the results of some study. 100 cluster headache and 135 control participants were comparable for age, sex, race, income, and marital status. Significantly more cluster headache than control participants had lifetime active suicidal ideation, 47% versus 26.7%. I don't know. This is too
So
much.
they
I'm
say
not
you get more clusters if you're married?
No, it's saying you were more likely to commit suicide
If you get married?
No, if you had. That's another number we could look up. Anyway, this isn't the point of this story. This isn't the point. The point is
we're gonna turn really positive here in a second.
the point is they're really bad, and it's a bad thing. And
jump off like Frenchies off the top. 48.
no, so whenever I've had these issues, because I have, so some people have what they call chronic cluster headaches. So the reason they're called cluster headaches is because they usually come in clusters.
And then chronic is like from Snoop Dogg or Dr. Dre.
they
get go chronic.
well, kind of, sort of. Chronic means you always have them. You're getting them all the time. So when I'm in my cluster mode or whatever, it'll probably last like a month or so where I get them like nightly, sometimes nightly and during the day.
Wow,
and
for a month?
For a month. And usually like for the first few days.
No wonder that people want to commit suicide.
Yeah. And that's not even the chronic people. So if you're a chronic person, there's no cluster period. You just have them all the time. And so the last time I had because when you have them, they're so bad, you can't do anything. It's like the pain is so intense you can't even think about anything. And depending on how severe it is, it might last like 20 minutes or it might last an hour or two. But whenever it's happening, like that's it. You're just there and nothing, there's no relief from it. You know, like if you have a regular headache or something, you can kind of be quiet, maybe sit in a dark room and it won't be as bad if you're still or whatever. But if you're having a cluster, there's no position you can get into that makes it feel better. It's just this crazy pain and you have it and that's it. And if you have chronic cluster headaches, which is a very small percentage of people, you just have that every day at some point throughout the day, or it's usually what would happen is as soon as you fall asleep, they think like what triggers them is your brain going into a certain type of activity. Because you know how you have like the beta waves, the whatever waves, I can't remember what they're all called, but when you go to sleep, like your brain goes into certain different activity modes or whatever.
Right.
So the idea was that when you first fall asleep, your brain goes into whatever that first mode is, and that seems to like trigger them. So what will happen is if you're experiencing them, you'll go to sleep and then you'll wake up like 45 minutes later with just this crazy pain that will last for another hour or two. And then you fall asleep and then you wake up again with it and you just don't sleep and it's crazy. And I lost my train of thought without describing them all. Anyway, they're really bad. Oh, so the point that I was saying with those was whenever I would have those really bad ones, like I never was like suicidal where I was like, I just want to die to make the pain
I feel like
stop.
I want to just end it right now.
But I was desperate where I was like, I would do anything to make this pain stop. I guess I wouldn't kill myself, so I guess it wouldn't anything. But it was like, I'll take what's the drug I need to take? Like, what is the lifestyle change I need to make? Like, whatever it is, just to get me to where I'm not experiencing this pain anymore. I was like, I'll do whatever it is. And so I brought that up with the back thing, because whenever I have the back issues, you can't walk for a little while. And I go, whatever it takes to make me so I can walk just to get to baseline again, so I can just be a normal person. Like, I'll do it. I'll do the exercises every morning. I'll do the stretches. If I got to take an hour or 2 hours every day just to take care of myself so I can walk again, I was like, I'll do it. So for whatever reason, one night, like a couple months ago, I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't sleep for whatever reason. And I was having these thoughts that I just laid out for you about like all these different areas of my life. But with the back thing specifically, what'll happen is I'll have some episode where it goes out, and then I'll put in all the extra effort to get to where I can walk again and be normal again. And I'll do that for a couple weeks, a few weeks or whatever, till I feel like good again and feel strong again and like normal. And then I'll just kind of slowly taper off doing those extra exercises and those extra time stretching or whatever. And I felt like it just hit me that I was like, oh, I take walking for granted, because at some point I stopped doing all the things required for me to just walk normal. And I'm getting emotional saying it right now because it hit me so hard. Because you know how people, like there's different levels of understanding for things. And sometimes when you're, like especially when you're reading like Christianity stuff or whatever, like God will just, like you'll know one thing, but then at some point you'll just understand it on a different level.
Like revelation. When you
Yeah,
come to that
so
true
like-
revelation or something.
Yeah. So like for instance, maybe you know, like if you're a good Christian or whatever, you know Jesus loves me, God loves me, whatever. But then at some point you'll go through something in your life and you'll be like, oh, God loves me. And you just understand it more. And then you'll do something else. You'll be like, no, God loves me. And it's
Right.
like a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
And so I've always felt like a relatively, like I know you should be thankful. I know you should be grateful for stuff. And I feel like in general, like I'm not a bad, like I'm pretty thankful for things. I say thank you for things. But then it just like hit me on a whole nother level when I feel like he revealed that to me. Like, no, you take walking for granted. And yeah, I don't know why it hits me so hard when I think about that. Because I was still thinking about that coming over here, like trying to get my thoughts together.
Right.
And like it would make me like this then too. Because it was like we take so much for granted. And I was thinking about like with the headache things, that place of desperation that I would get into where again, like I wasn't like bad, but I would just sit there, like the things I was like, I would do this if I could just not feel this pain anymore. I would do this. And I feel like we need that in all these aspects of our life because anyway, I lost sidetracked with that. But the point was that with like the back thing, for instance, I knew I was thankful to walk when I was putting in the extra work so that I could walk. And so that like was proof that I am thankful for this right now. But then at some point when I would stop doing the extra work to walk, it was like, well, that's proof that you're taking it for granted now. And so you can play that out in every aspect of your life. And you can say, I really am being thankful for this thing, or I'm not. Because with this, I'm putting in the extra work to make it work, or I'm not. So maybe the thing is, we're talking about relationships or something. You can, and this is the other idea that I was thinking about too, which I'll say before I go on, was I feel like people, like God gives us all these different blessings in our lives, and I feel like we take them for granted and we're not thankful for them. But not even just that, but what we'll do is we'll get like mad at something that's supposed to be a blessing for us. So, and you end up just like cursing your blessings. So for instance, let me get some water first. So for instance, like, so I have a house right now, and I could walk you through all the different ways that I believe, like all the different steps that happened so that I got this house. That to me is just like proof that God gave me this house. And I could do that, but that would take another 30 minutes. But just like him putting the right people in place and at just the right time, giving me just enough money for just, so like the house, to me, God gave me that house. That's supposed to be a blessing from God. But then I've been talking about, I've brought up a few times over the last like month or so how the taxes went up and now we're like, it's like got our payments all out of control. And so, which by the way, finally have a date to go protest my taxes next week. So, fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah. Adam's working through the same thing right now.
Yeah, everybody is. It's just, it's so frustrating. Anyway, the point is, so like lately that's been kind of like that's been a lot more stress and a lot of negative things as you're going like, oh, now I got to do this to pay the bills. How am I'm running short on cash here, blah, blah, blah. And you start like getting upset at this thing that was supposed to be a blessing for you. And so, and then you can do that in everything. Like, I was telling you about Tara's car. We got a flat tire and all, and she's always got issues with that car. It's always, if it's not a flat tire, it's, the check engine light's always on. It's like one of those things. And I think everybody has something like that where it's just like, but that car's supposed to be a blessing. It's not supposed to be this burden on you,
right.
you know? And so what'll happen is we'll go through these tough times with them, and we get distracted by the fact that like it's a problem at the moment, but it's like that was a thing that's supposed to be a blessing for you. And so if that's the case, then he's going to take care of it. And I had a connection with that.
It's funny that you brought this up because this was just recently a discussion in my house, right? Because we were having a conversation. It was one of those things like, so we got termites, right? Last summer, I think.
My parents had those too.
And it tore up an external wall. Like, I mean, it was fairly extensive the way that the termites tore it up. And there's always been something that's been going wrong. We're always having to fix something. And, Sandra and I, we would get frustrated and we'd just say, this piece of crap house, it's this, then that, or whatever. And then...
And you start, like, cursing the thing that's supposed to be blessed.
Yeah, and then I have... The beautiful thing is my dad has cancer and he's on the same property and we get to spend the rest of his life together, right? And we're all right there. But then we go somewhere and then, Noah was just like, man, this part of town is sketch. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like...
No cap?
Yeah, no cap. And I was just like, here we are complaining about a beautiful home in a beautiful neighborhood.
Yeah.
And our son doesn't even understand the things that we have because we've been so blessed that he doesn't even understand the struggle it took to get there, I think that you're right on, and I think that's a lot of where America is right now.
Yeah. But so the tie-in was, so we should be taking care of the blessings because if you're not, then you're taking them for granted.
Yeah.
And so like with my back, if I'm not actively taking care of it, I'm taking it for granted. And then, but the great thing is because if you're taking it for granted, you're not being thankful for it. If you're not being thankful for your blessings, not so good. But the great thing is let me word it right. So the more grateful I am for the thing, so if we just stay with the back issue, the more grateful I am for it, the more thankful I am for it, the more I work on it, and the stronger and the better I am because of it.
That's good.
And so you can play that out.
Wow. That's a message.
Gotcha. But yeah, so you can play that out in every aspect of your life. And so it's like the more thankful you are for the thing, the more you take care of the thing, and then the better off everything is because of it.
Yeah.
So whether it's your relationships, like how many people are complaining about their spouse or their whatever. It's like, well, are you taking care of it? Are you doing your part for it? And then the more you do, the better it is. The better you are, the better your life is. It's the same thing with your job, with everything.
Yeah. I think that, we normally don't learn those lessons until we experience loss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When something goes away, then you're like, when you lose your mom, you're just like, man, I wish I would have spent more time with her.
Yeah.
And you learn them through loss. And I think that if you look at the world today, we live in a time of like crisis, and we need those crises in life to keep us pushing forward. Because crisis always keeps your focus of trying to get out of something bad into something good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when we experience God in our life, we don't have to live from a place of crisis. That we can live from a place of thankfulness, like you're talking about right there. And I think that when we look at it like what you're saying on like a global level, that's what the enemy's trying to always get us to do, is look at it from a crisis standpoint, like always from behind the eight ball, instead of saying, you know what, I found out if I don't eat a bunch of carbs, I don't have the joint issues, and if I do my exercises, I don't have the back problems. And always being proactive instead of the other way around, man. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's really good. So what happened that made you like that revelation to get there? What was going on in your life that you just like that you had that aha moment?
I don't know. I was just trying to sleep.
Because of the headache.
No, this was a few months ago. I don't know. Sometimes I wake up and I can't fall asleep, and sometimes I'll have something like that where I can't sleep for a reason
Right.
God will show me something, or maybe I'm stressed out about a thing or whatever, or it's just like a physical thing. Like
So
I have trouble breathing through my nose, and that's
me too, man.
dude. It's specifically when I sleep, because what'll happen is I'll get a little bit hot, and then like how your fingers will swell up or get smaller depending on how hot or cold you are. So it's like something in my nose will be like that too. So I'll get a little bit hot, and then my nose will swell up just enough.
So
somewhere.
I thought it was an allergy of like.
I thought it was too, but I
my
realized it's
room.
like a heat thing for me, because if I'm cold, even if I'm experiencing allergies or something, if I can keep my face cold enough, the air will flow better, because it's not that I'm stocked up with all this junk. It's just like the nasal ways have like expanded a little bit.
That's what mine is.
That's
too.
what I think it is for me. But which is kind of nice that it's taken me years to kind of like put it together and be like, oh, that's what it is. My face is hot and it's expanded, and then I can't breathe or like I can breathe, but I have to go.
Yeah, and then you sleep with your mouth open.
Yeah.
Yes, and you get
So
all
then
dried out. And
you get dried out and you wake out, and that's even if you can fall asleep. It's so hard to fall asleep trying to.
So
Anyway, that'll happen to me like a few nights a week.
So when God wakes you up like that, this one was obviously one of those times where it was like an aha moment. It was life impacting. You can obviously tell by the the emotions that you're going through with it.
Yeah.
I think that I do a bad job of when God wakes me up, not understanding that it's God trying to speak to me, and then instead of just like, all right, let me hurry up and try to go back to sleep so I can get to sleep, but just take that moment. Okay, God, what are you trying to tell me right now? And even almost write it down, because when you wake up the next morning, you're like,
You're all
man,
dazed out.
yeah, you're like, what was God trying to tell me? Instead of taking that moment and just writing it down.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of times, you'll be doing something and God will speak to me, and I'm just like, oh man, I need to write that down, because I feel like that might be a message or something.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you get life busyness and then you miss it.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't write that down that time, but I definitely try to write stuff down a lot. I think I've said it before, like I do that with lyrics.
Right.
Well, they might not necessarily be lyrics. Sometimes I know they're lyrics, but other times it's just like, I should remember that thought.
Yeah.
And I'll write it down.
I think having a journal, it sounds so like girlish and weak, but I think that like Brother Calvin, he journals a lot, and just through his journal, God will begin to speak to him, and that he can always reference back about the things that God has spoken to him, and he learned that way while he was in prison.
Yeah, I like the idea of having a little book with all your journal stuff or whatever, but I never like that. If you're gonna actually use a little book, that means you have to like carry this book with you all the time and always have a pen and a paper. So, which I found was just not super realistic for me.
I text stuff to myself.
I'll just go to the notes and just write a note in my phone. So I've got like note after I've got
I need
many
to
notes.
I need to use my notes better. I see a lot of people do the voice recorder too.
Yeah, I should do that. I never really learned how to do that. If I ever needed to remember something that was an audio thing.
Yeah.
Like I've done that before.
Like a hum, like a
yeah.
Melody or something.
Yeah, that's when I've used it before. But what I'll do is, since I didn't really understand how to use the voice recorder thing, I would just take a video with like the regular camera and just like hum something into it or whatever. I've got a handful of. I went back. My memory was getting full, and I was going back and like deleting a bunch of old photos from like 6 years ago and videos, and I found some old videos of me like in the bathroom stall at work, like humming a melody. And I was trying to remember. Some of them I was like, that's bad. And I just deleted it. And other ones I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Maybe I'll mess with that later.
Yeah, I think a lot of times that we need to take advantage of the technologies and different things that we have to enhance our life. The Bible says that, what the enemy is made for evil, God can use for good,
Yeah.
So if he's trying to use some other stuff and that's like YouTube or even social medias and different things like that. Like, I know there's a lot of bad stuff out there, but like, you know, this guy's using his shoes or whatever it may be, you know.
Lil Nas X, baby.
Not Little Nas, Jonathan Isaac or Isaac Jonathan.
He's
Yeah,
walking
that's-
in the blood.
Yeah, so I would say, so what would you want to leave people with that idea?
The big idea is obviously you need to be thankful for everything. You know, we're supposed to give, in all things, give thanks. We're supposed to be living in thankfulness and all. The thing for me that was so impactful is that you could literally tell by you could tell by exactly how you're treating whatever the thing is, whether it's a physical thing, whether it's a person, relationship, whether it's just characteristic traits. You could tell by how you're treating it if you're actually being thankful for the thing or not. And so that was,
I think I'm a product of that
yeah,
because Sandra loved me when I wasn't lovable. And because she did that, she showed me how to love.
yeah,
You know, because I had some like scars and pains coming from past relationships and kind of living the lifestyle that I was living.
yeah,
That she, no matter how bad I treated her, she continued to love me. So that gave me, when it all clicked, they gave me a roadmap how to love her back.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's good, man.
That's what I got.
I think we need to let you come up with some more of these topics.
It's tough to come up with a topic.
I know it is. Man. If y'all have anything that y'all want to hear out there,
Yeah.
let us know. We can
Leave
talk
a comment.
leave a comment in
Something.
We can talk about anything just as long as we know what we're talking about.
I mean, we talked about poop for like 10 minutes.
Well, I appreciate you coming out and showing some vulnerability.
Yeah.
We don't get that from you a lot.
I'm a vulnerable guy, dude.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah. I think so. I think I could be more.
I think that I used to be very hard, and now I get a lot of kind of pushback because I don't have a filter anymore. And then I kind of like your grandfather. I'll talk about any of my situations
Yeah.
from the platform. So, you know, Sandra's like, you don't have to share everything,
Yeah.
you know? But I think that's like how you connect with people.
Yeah.
People, if they can see the inside of you, they connect with you, and they can really take what you're saying to heart and let your experience be their experience.
Yeah, I mean, the experience is the thing that I think is the most effective thing. If you're trying to express an idea or something to somebody, and you can say like, "Hey, this happened to me, and this is how I react. Like, this is what happened."
Right.
That I feel like that's way more effective, and people are way more willing to listen, and not just willing to listen, but can grasp a concept better. If they
Right.
say like, "This was this," if you say, "This was my situation, and this is what happened," then if you just like told them some general, "You should not lie,"
Right.
or whatever it is.
Yep.
You know.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right. Well, let's get out of here, man.
all right.
It's
We're
been
out of here,
a-
and
There we go.
we love you.
This is the Refuge Project.